Over the course of 5 wrestling shows, I've watched 38 matches this weekend. I didn't keep many notes, didn't take any notes is the truth, so may miss a few things here, but I just thought I'd like to come on and talk about my weekend. This weekend that I've just spent, where, as I say at the very start, 5 wrestling shows this weekend. The most I've ever done in one weekend was 3. That was a Friday night, a Saturday night, and a Sunday night. That was fucking nuts. One of the things I genuinely believe about wrestling is that because if you're emotionally invested in a wrestling product, I find that wrestling can be very tiring mentally as a fan to watch. I'm sure it's nothing compared to how tiring it is physically for the wrestlers in the ring, but it's all the cheering, all the booing, all the near falls and everything. That is emotionally draining for me. I was looking forward to and dreading this weekend in both equal measures, because 5 wrestling shows with some of the best talent in the world on the shows, fucking yes. But also, you know, I thought to myself, surely after the 3rd show, I will be completely and utterly spent. So we'll have a look at that. So, obviously, 4 of the shows were PCW, Preston City Wrestling, versus Ring of Honor, the Super Show of Honor weekend. 4 shows, unprecedented, and one of those, the amount of talk and chat and people who don't really have anything to do with Brit Wrestling have got in touch with me and gone, dude, are you into this? Like, fucking do right now. Bought my Saturday night tickets ages ago, and ages ago, as soon as they came on sale, in fact. But yeah, they announced a 4th show for the Sunday, which was an interesting touch. After 3 shows, I'm like, I'm sort of I wonder how many people actually go to that. And of course, the 5th show was a Futureshock show, which we'll talk about in a second. Opening contest on the Friday night, and the Friday night show was sold out and was rammed, but not uncomfortably rammed, like it'd be on Saturday night. Evoque, when it's completely packed, is not a fun place if you haven't got a good place to stand. I make a point when I go to PCW shows of always trying to be in the front 10 people in the queue, because there's a particular place that I like to stand, because my back's are fucked, because my hips are so fucked, because my knees are so fucked. I need to lean against something. There's a particular bit in the nightclub that I like to lean against, so I wanted to be there first. But yeah, it wasn't as rammed as it would be on Saturday, but it was comfortably full. So Joey Hayes defeating El Ligero, Charlie Garrett, Dean Elmark, Cedric Alexander, and ACH in a really good match, actually. Charlie Garrett and El Ligero were subs for Noam Dar and Mark Andrews, respectively. I cannot tell you why Mark Andrews was not on any of these shows this weekend. There was a couple of matches that I was particularly looking forward to. ACH versus Mark Andrews was one that I was particularly looking forward to. There was no Mark Andrews can't be here, as far as I know. I saw nothing on Twitter. None of the guys that I was with said, oh, have you seen on Twitter or have you seen on social media? Or anyway, Mark Andrews can't be here. So it was one of those, when Garrett came out, it's one of those, I'm sure you're not booked on this show. But yeah, absolutely. Great way to open the weekend. Lots of flipping and spots and all kind of shenanigans. All good stuff. Michael Elgin defeating fucking Brodus Clay, or Tyrus as he wanted to be known on the night. I'm guessing that's his TNA. I don't watch TNA. I'm guessing that's his TNA name. German Suplex. This probably was the worst match of the weekend, and I put all the blame for that on Brodus Clay. One of these ones where they announced Brodus Clay and you just go in, don't know why you've done that one, lads, because you've got all these imports. You don't need Brodus Clay on top of it, do you? But I guess he's more well known than a lot of the Ring of Honor guys. A couple of people that I went to the show with don't watch Ring of Honor. Yeah, it was just one of those, like, let's go to the show sort of thing, you know? Whereas it's me, I don't watch Ring of Honor either. But a lot of the people that were there, like ACH, for example, wrestled for PWG, which I do watch a lot of. Yeah, Brodus Clay was terrible. He looked like he was in a foul mood. All his offense was wank compared to Elgin's. You could tell the difference between a world-class worker and someone who isn't. Because Elgin looked good. It's just that everything that Clay did was rubbish. Tell you something, may seem an obvious one. Brodus Clay is a big fucking guy. Delirious pinning Manson in, you can probably imagine how this one went. Comedy and comedy and comedy again. Absolutely fantastic. In one of the matches that I was legitimately looking forward to, a match that I went in with very high expectations for, Lance Storm defeating Martin Kirby in a stunner of a match. Absolutely fantastic. Lance Storm looking like he hasn't missed a beat, you know. I feel so sorry for my friend James, who does the Across the Pond website. He went to the bar as this one was starting, thinking that, sorry, as the last match, as Delirious versus Manson was finishing, he went to the bar, going, right, I'll get now's a good time to go, and he missed the entire match because he was at the bar, and you're going, oh, mate, and he was gutted, but of course, you got to see Lance on the next day, so that's all good. And my match of the night was Dave Mastiff pinning Adam Cole. This was fantastic. Adam Cole is one of my favourite wrestlers in the entire world. Got a great connection with the crowd. His Adam Cole, baby, was soon turned on the wonderful PCW fans into other things. My favourite ones being, for example, Cheryl Cole, baby, Norris Cole, baby. You can go on. I'll mention another one in a moment. That was my absolute favourite one. This, yeah, match of the night. It was, it's not saying that the other match was bad, but this was head and shoulders brilliant. Tommaso Ciampa pinned Uhaa Nation after a knee to the head, it says it. So I'm on the UKFF with the results, because I wrote down all the results, just as text messages, but my phone's dead, so it's one of those, right? Where's Plan B? To the UKFF, a site that I try to avoid like the plague, but it does have all the results of the PCW shows on it, so can't really say much. Tommaso Ciampa pinning Uhaa Nation, distraction from Chris Masters. I like Ciampa a great deal. Well, I saw Ciampa for the very, very first time at the AJ Styles Road to Glory shows earlier this year, and it was one of those when he came out, it's like, who's that guy? But I've seen him a lot since, and I hold him in very high regard, and I love Uhaa Nation. He's just amazing. That's great. Bullgum pinning Paul London. I didn't see any of it because I went to the bar after the last match finished. So right, my turn to go to the bar. Didn't see any of the match at all, I'm afraid. And then in the main event, Red Dragon retained the ROH tag titles over Team Single, the Briscoe Brothers, oh yeah, and BJ Whitmer and Broderick Strong. And then it was an alright match, pretty decent. And then afterwards, the Briscoe Brothers challenged Team Single for a title shot the next day. So that was all good, and there's footage of that on YouTube. After the show, there was a bit of milling around while they pulled the ring down. Because, of course, the venue's a nightclub, so even though there's 2 shows the next day, they have to pull the ring down and put it away so that people can come in. And then, the ring will be put up the next morning, which just seems one of those, wow, that's a lot of work, but it's got to be done, Anyway, after a bit of standing around and chatting and sort of digesting the show, a good half the people left, but half the people stayed for We Are the Tag Team Champions, which is Billy fucking Kirkwood and Chris. Is Chris Brooker Chris fucking Brooker, or is he just... Because Billy Kirkwood was introduced to when I went to the ICW show in Liverpool as Billy fucking Kirkwood. Chris fucking Brooker. Hey, they do they're a comedy duo. They do a wrestling-themed comedy show called We Are the Tag Team Champions. One of the reasons I wanted to go to the Friday show was so I could go to this bit. Believe it or not, I was so looking forward to this. It was everything I wanted. It was so fucking funny. It was eye-wateringly funny. It was, please stop talking, my whole body hurts because I've been laughing so much. Sort of funny is the best thing I can say. If you ever get a chance, go and see these guys. They also do they've hosted DDP, Rowdy Piper, and William Regal for their not stand-up talks. They do a bit of stand-up, don't they? For their tours they've done in the UK recently. Eros Comedy, EROS Comedy. They're absolutely fantastic. And on the night, they were superb. Next morning, something I hadn't ever experienced before. Oh, I went, sorry, I probably shouldn't mention this because no one cares, but beautiful hotel. I stayed in a hotel called The Legacy in Preston. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. 70 quid a night. Worth every penny. Room was beautiful. Beds were soft. All you can eat breakfast was perfect. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Something I've never experienced ever in my life was queuing for a wrestling show till 11 o'clock in the morning. That one was new. I've been told, because of course, some of the friends that I was with were saying, look, the afternoon shows, the guys just take the piss because it's called the Hangover Show. In my opinion, this one was the best show of the 4, I thought. This is the one that I came away going, that was fucking great. That was absolutely brilliant. Opening contest, Uhaa Nation defeating Eligo, BJ Whitmer, and Tommaso Ciampa in a good 4 corners match. I really enjoyed that one. Michael Elgin beating Chris Masters, and again, this I didn't enjoy. There was a distraction from Uhaa Nation. Masters had distracted Uhaa, but Uhaa had managed to win the match. Masters gets on the mic, says, look, I want you to sit front row while I show Michael Elgin a thing or two. You go, fuck off, you're an idiot. I mean, yeah, I know it's called character. Come on, don't go here, whatever. But, so Michael Elgin's second match of the weekend against Chris Masters, and you start going, right, his match last night was rubbish. This one will be good, right? No, didn't enjoy it at all. Just don't have any time for Chris Masters at all. I don't know what it is at the moment. He just doesn't interest me at all. If I was booking PCW, Chris Masters wouldn't feature for me for a very long time. But he's booked in he's booked into the Road for Glory tournament, I think. So that's one of those. I will see him again. It's just I think what it is with the fans is that we've seen him too many times. He's not a draw. He's not an import anymore, is he? He's just a part of the roster. Does that make sense? And I think we've got bored of him. I think that's me personally. I don't know what the rest of the guys are. Anyway, Joey Hayes, sub for Manuel Alejandro, pinned ACH with his feet on the ropes. This was a great match. This was the only match of the 4 that featured some decent psychology, as Joey Hayes working over the arm of ACH in, I assume, preparation for, he uses a crippler crossface finisher. Sometimes Joey Hayes does. And yeah, I assume it was for that. And then when that wasn't working, he just thought, fuck it, and put his feet on the ropes. That was, yeah, really, really good match. Roderick Strong defeating Paul London in a good match. Paul London's one of those ones I wish would go away, and I don't mean that in a nasty way, but he's got the mother of all braces on his legs. The guy is obviously in serious pain. He adjusts the brace after every move he does, and you just start going, look, someone give this guy some money so he can piss off for 6 months and repair his leg. Because surely every bump he's taking on this leg is bad. Anyway, Roderick Strong is one of those guys. I've only seen him in PWG recently, where he's a big badass heel and he does healing things. He showed a lot of personality this weekend, which I loved. And I tell you something about Roderick Strong. I'd forgotten how much I love his fucking Ring of Honor entrance music. Do you remember, if you're a long-time viewer of mine, back in 2007, I used to have a little introduction on my vids of, a couple of clips of me, a couple of backyard wrestling clips, and yada, yada, yada. Whatever, yeah, judge me, whatever you want, I don't care. But I used to use that music, oh, there was a firefight, and all that, like, fucking when it came, I was like, God, I actually forgot about this music. Yeah, brilliant. Best match of the show, and probably my match of the weekend, was Adam Cole baby pinning Noam Dar in a absolutely fucking superb match. Straight jacket German suplex gets the win. Technical. Crowd were into it. Noam Dar, who's been wrestling as a heel recently, we wrestled as a babyface, because of course Adam Cole wrestled as a heel. So that was nice. It was a nice little change. This was my match of the weekend. This was absolutely fucking great. I loved it. It was everything I could possibly want. Martin Kirby then beating Cedric Alexander after Kirby's Dreamland, the best Kirby's Dreamland I've ever seen. Kirby's Dreamland, if you're wondering, is a famouser / rocker drop, or whatever you want to call it. And Kirby did it in such a way that Alexander came down on the very top of his head, and that was great. And then Team Single and Bullgum beating Dave Mastiff, Madman Manson, and Dave Rain. Oh my God, this was one of those matches that was, again, it was so funny that my jaw was hurting by the end of it. Manson comes out with like a bandana on, and Dave Rain's got his hashtag boom belt around his neck, and they're all giving it someone, trying to be gangster, and that was hilarious. And Dave Mastiff sat there with just a face of pure anger. And in this match, Madman Manson managed to actually break Rampage Brown good and proper. Rampage Brown corpsing like a good one on the ropes, just laughing and laughing and laughing. And of course, because of that, everyone's laughing. Very, very entertaining match, if a bit silly in places. And main event, Red Dragon retains the ROH tag belts over the Briscoes in a good match. Red Dragon are a phenomenal team. I've had a lot of time for Kyle O'Reilly for a while. He's the PWG champion at the moment. He's one of the reasons that I went to these shows. But Bobby Fish is one that I've only seen a few times, and he is the one that I will take away as he's my one to watch. He's phenomenally brilliant. And if you go on my Facebook page at the moment, you'll see I've got a photo taken of myself with Red Dragon, and I'm very, very pleased with that. The evening show, after the meet and greet, I should probably point out, where they had Road Warrior Animal, Booker T was there, which was pretty damn fantastic. For if you like Booker T, I've met the guy a couple of times, so it was one of those, I'm not that fussed. Meet and greet was one of those times where I'm sat there going, look, I have to get a photo with the Briscoes. I'm here to get a photo at this meet and greet. To keep my fucking spot, I sat for 3 hours so that no one took my space. How good's that? 3 hours I sat there going, look, ain't no fucker standing here. Because I knew that Saturday night show would be rammed. Because when I did the Road to Glory show in the AJ Styles one back in early on this year, I got my times mixed up, and I got to the show as the first bell went, walked into a VOC and went, oh, for goodness sake. because it's where should we stand? What's that? At the very back where I can't see shit. And that, folks, is why I stand at the front. The meet and greet, I'm sat there waiting for the Briscoe brothers queue to go down, because by the saints, it was big. And I've now met 4 Ring of Honor champions and never got a photo of myself taken with the belt. And it's like, this changes today. And no, I didn't get a chance. I just did not get the chance to do it. So I was one of those, that's one of those things that, no, at the moment, it's one of those, that bothers me. In 6 months' time, we're sat there going, God damn, that bothers me. Why didn't you get your photo taken with the Briscoes? Fuck's sake. Anyway, evening show. Cedric Alexander, who was a sub for Mark Andrews, beating ACH, Martin Kirby, Noam Dar, Roderick Strong, and Bobby Fish in a good 6-man match. Again, very entertaining, very good way to open this. This is exactly how I would have opened the show. Yeah, disappointing again to not see Mark Andrews, but again, people like Roderick Strong showed a lot of personality in this one. I really enjoyed that. Oh my God, Michael Elgin defeating BJ Whitmer after a powerbomb. Nothing much. This one was a crowd killer. This was a death spot after the opening contest, which was all flipping and high flying and lots of spots and shenanigans and shit. Yeah, this one, no one cared. I don't give 2 shits about BJ Whitmer. That's one of the things I want to come away from this weekend going, don't care about this guy at all. Just couldn't give a fuck. I personally would have booked Elgin versus Mastiff in this match, but because Mastiff was in the main event, although not advertised for the main event, I've seen Michael Elgin versus Dave Mastiff at Fight Club Pro, and it was one of the best matches I've ever seen. That's why I'd like to see that happen again. But yeah, then 3 matches in, Michael Elgin's had, all rubbish. No, I don't place any of that blame on Michael Elgin. Tommaso Ciampa beating El Ligero. This was good. This was probably match of the night for me. Absolute stunner of a match. These two beat the piss out of each other. No reverse Rana like I was expecting. I was expecting reverse Rana in this one. Having not seen one all weekend, was expecting one here. Didn't see one, wasn't that fuss. This was spectacularly brilliant. Dave Rain and Mama Manson defeating Paul London and Delirious in a match that, again, was as nuts as you can probably imagine. Joey Hayes not only beating Lance Storm, but beating Lance Storm clean as a whistle via submission to that crossface I was talking about before. How good is that? That was fun. Yeah, that was a great match. That was one of those... oh, man, it was just one of those, look, if that doesn't say, look, this guy is the fucking man, I don't know what does for Joey Hayes. And it makes you wonder who booked that one, whose decision that was. I mean, I don't know what if Lance Storm's got any sort of ego or attitude or anything like that. It's one of those, you know, was Storm booked to win? He watched Joey Hayes' match the night before and go, no, I want to put him over or something. I don't know. But it's one of those, yeah, I think that'll do Joey Hayes the world of good. It puts him straight back into what we'll talk about in a second about the title match. Team single retained the PCW tag belts over the Briscoes. This was a fantastic match. Rampage Brown getting the winner with a pile driver. Everything you could possibly want from these 4. Fan Dabby Dozy. Booker T came out, which was nice for everyone. Big pop. Before that, I've forgotten something. They announced for the Road to Glory tournament next year, they announced Alberto Del Rio at the Fright Night show on Halloween. On Saturday night, they announced Matt freaking Hardy for it, so that got a big cheer. It's one of those, for me, it's one of those, yeah, it's not Jeff, is it? But Jeff's not allowed in the country, so that'll do. It's one of those, yeah. I said straight away, there's your casual mark sorted out, because any casual fan will go to that show to see those 2 guys. Anyone else is, you know, just a bonus, isn't it? Yeah, Booker T came out. He put over the promotion, put over the fans, started to say we were the best fans in the world and then changed his mind or something like that. Yeah, you're not allowed to say something like that. He says he's got his own, this was great, he's got his own promotion, right? And the fans of his promotion aren't as good as us PCW fans. You're going, cool, I'll do, because we're awesome. Fans demanded a Spinneroonie. Brodus Clay comes out and he basically apologises for his attitude the night before and says, I want to watch a Spinneroonie in the ring. And you're going, where's this one going? Are you going to turn heel? It's not going to be a match, is it? But yeah, Booker does the Spinneroonie, then gets on the mic and basically talks bollocks, you know, the way how he does on the WWE pre-shows. It sounded like, the gist of what he was trying to say is, I think that they're doing a Harlem Heat reunion tour next year, because he mentioned the Dudleys, the Steiners, and the Hardy Boys. I don't know if you said that that's going to happen at PCW, because like I say, waffling bollocks, shucky ducky, quack quack bollocks. And then in one of the best. This is right. I hope this comes across in the way I mean it to. This in one of the best booked things I've ever seen on a PCW show. Lionheart comes out. Lionheart's the general manager. He's got himself ridiculously over by being dressed in sharp suits. Gets sexy bastard chants every time he comes out. My job as general manager, he starts everything off with. And that's got over to the point where he doesn't even need to finish it. He goes, my job as, then you can just sit and accept and finish it off for him. Comes out, stone-faced. Almost looks like his lips going. Recently I've got physical. I can remember this, but I can't remember all the finishes. But that is how good this was. I think is the best compliment I can give it. Is that recently I've got into a couple of physical altercations because he got suffered a broken neck from that Stars Clash back at Road to Glory this year. So I've got him into a couple of physical altercations recently. So crux of the matter is I'm going to have to retire as general manager. And you go, oh man, that's bullshit. But whatever's best for you. And you're thinking that's that. Joey Hayes' music comes out. I've just beaten Lance Storm via submission. I demand a title shot. You're retiring as general manager at the end of this show. Well, I want a title shot. Give me a title shot. And he says, look, I'm not just going to give you a title shot. But what I'll do is I'll make you the #1 entrant into the Road to Glory 2015 tournament. Joey Hayes is like, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So he's like, shake my hand, and Lionheart's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to shake your hand. And eventually, after much shenanigans, they shook his hand, and in one of those moments, because I don't think anyone in the room saw this one coming. Gets the mic. Said you were #1. I didn't say he was #2. Fucking Rob Bottom's in, pulls the shirt off. Lionheart is back, and the place goes mental. You start going, spine tingling, hairs on your arms react raw from the crowd. Like, yes! That was incredible. Speaking of incredible, segue. Bubblegum defeating Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, baby, in an absolutely stunning match. I said before that Ciampa versus Ligero was my match of the night. It's one of these two. It's either the three-way, because this was stunning. This was absolutely brilliant. Or the aforementioned Ciampa versus Ligero match. This is one of the matches that I paid my money to see. This is one of those, look, I want to see this match. Let's say I'd love to see Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole on their own. That'd be nice as well. That would have been nice. And then the main event is Uhaa Nation winning the PCW Championship in a three-way elimination match. Now, this was meant to be Uhaa Nation versus Chris Masters, but Lionheart comes out one last time, makes it a triple threat match. And it's elimination rules, so it's one of those sort of turn to all your mates like fucking Masters have got to be the first one eliminated, and he was, hooray! And then Uhaa and Dave Mastiff beat the piss out of each other, and that was glorious. Uhaa won with this, what's it called? Uhaa combination, it says here. So the two flips. It's a standing moonsault and then a standing shooting star press. And anyone who's never seen it, you just go, fucking Christ, that's amazing. And it's one of those, you don't watch the move. I don't. I watch people's reactions that I know haven't seen Uhaa before, because it's one of those, it's always one of those, wait till you see his fucking finishing move. It's incredible. And you watch them go, and they're going, how does a man that big get that much fucking elevation, sort of thing? So that was that. Something happened after the main event, but it was literally the second that the bell went, I ran to my car, because I had to drive back to here, to Stoke Poges. It's a 75-mile drive from Preston to mine. Nice and simple. I couldn't afford to stay in the hotel twice, so I had to drive home, and then there was another friend of mine who wanted to come to the Sunday morning show. So whereas it would have cost me 70 quid for the hotel, it would have only cost me 20 quid in fuel to get back to Stoke, to get back there, and I wasn't paying for the fuel, and it was just one of those. But it was just one of those, look, if I leave now, I'm going to get home at midnight, which is almost to the second I got home. I came into my house at midnight, and I was so tired. I went straight to bed. Alarm goes off at 8 o'clock the next morning, one of those, fuck's sake. But we had to be in Preston. I wanted to be in Preston for 10. Because, again, I wanted my spot. Now, this time, I didn't have to worry about my spot in the slightest. I mean, in the slightest. Because there was, of the 4 shows, this one had the least amount of people. I'd say 200 people, maybe. I couldn't tell you exactly how many were there. But yeah, there was our spot, and no one at all stood around us. One of those, cool, that was easy. But at the same time, it also meant that we stood outside the venue for an hour going, yay, love wrestling. So my memory's a bit more clear on this one. Opening contest, Red Dragon defeating Team Single in a non-title, no disqualification match. Rampage Brown eliminated from the match very early on because you've got to, oh, I guess this is the case. He wrestles at Progress. Progress had a show that day down in London, so I'm going to guess he was eliminated this early so he could run to the back, change his gear and out of his gear into his normal clothes and mission down the fucking motorway to get to London. Chasing the Dragon, which is Red Dragon's finishing move. It's a brainbuster super kick combination, and that got the win. Next, oh my goodness me, Roderick Strong beating Mark. Oh my god, I forgot something. Right, I must go back to the Saturday night show. Some guy. Do you know what I was saying before about the Adam Cole baby, Cheryl Cole baby, Norris Cole baby? One guy behind me, I reckon 10 people max will have heard this one, shouts out, sausage roll baby! I broke. I was banging my fist on my little bit of thing that I lean on, crying laughing at that. That was gold. Anyway, Roderick Strong defeating Mark Briscoe. Good match this one, lots of shenanigans. Remember I was talking before about Roderick Strong showing personality? One of the things I haven't seen Roderick Strong for quite a while away from PWG, so the fans were chanting shitty little boots at him on Saturday because he wears very small wrestling boots. So he comes out, and I turned to my friend Alex, who came with us on for the Sunday show, like, listen, all last night we were chanting shitty little boots at him, and it was hilarious. I really hope they do it again. He comes to the ring, literally gets on the apron, whole room, shitty little boots, and he fucked off. He actually fucked off, and he came back with his bags. I know, shitty little bags came back, went to the back, another one, 2 bags, shitty little bags. Went to the back, 3 shitty bags, etc. Lots and lots of shenanigans. Which then, when they got into the ring, Mark Briscoe was like, "Oh, all I wanted to know is how do I get a shitty little boots T-shirt?" And then shenanigans. Lots of fun times in the match. In this one, Paul London defeating Delirious in another match where this one. Remember, I was told that the show 2 was the hangover show where they take the piss. I actually felt like this one was the hangover show. So this one was, London and Delirious, silly match. This was daft as you can get, but it's absolutely wonderful. But it was nothing on the next one after ACH defeating Cedric Alexander. This match may be one of the best matches I've ever seen for how surreal it was. Because both men came out, and I don't know if they were actual hungover or they were pretending, but they were acting like they had a hangover. So it's one of those, look, can we not have any loud noises? Crowd, click on straight away like that. Yeah, so every pop is instead of it's Referees instructed to count so it's 1, 2, and a whole match was like that, and it was played to silence. You would think that a match that plays to silence would be bad. Oh, this was glorious. This was buy the DVD for this match. Trust me on that. There's great matches across the board. There's at least one great match per show. All right. This one, you need to buy the DVD to see. Honestly, words cannot do this match justice. Honestly, guys, it was fantastic. Yeah, and no loud noises match. It was great. This is the thing, right? I went into this match expecting flipping, and there was no flipping. But I'm not going to say I was trying to do a vid. Every time, what is it? PCW fans? Wrestling fans? What is it? Hello, if you're new to my vids, by the way. If you're watching this vid for the first time. Every vid I do, I'm interrupted by an emergency vehicle. And we play a little game, which is guess what it is. Because I live next to a main road, you see. And the usual response is that it's an ambulance, which it is today. Adam Cole defeating Chris Masters by countout, because Masters was heckled to death with dickhead chants. And it wasn't just dickhead. My favourite being he's got a penis on his head. That's golden. I used to hate PCW fans because I thought that the stuff that they came out was stupid, and I thought they were trying to get over. And it seems like a lot of the people that I didn't like don't go to their shows anymore. I now have a lot of time for the wit of the PCW fans. Yeah, that was rubbish finish. I didn't like that at all. Uha Nathan retaining the PCW title. which was a surprise, I've got to be honest. I mean, it was announced that Uha versus Elgin was taking place, but then it's one of those, what if Uha wins the belt? Will that be a title match? Nah, sure, not on this first night. Yeah, this was a title match. This was fantastic. This was a match I needed to be good, because like I say, I'd seen 3 Michael Elgin matches, and they'd all been rubbish. And this one needed to be good. And it was! Spinebuster and the Uha combination getting the win. And Jay Briscoe, right, this was an interesting one. Jay Briscoe retaining the Ring of Honor Championship in a ridiculously stiff match over Tommaso Ciampa. These should beat the fuck out of each other. Really stiff. Start of the match, Ciampa's like right up in his face. You know, I'm gonna, really trying to get into his head. Slapped him so hard that he split fucking Jay Briscoe open here. Slapped him here, split him open here. I don't know how that works. Your slap was so stiff that it travelled up my face, got to here, and then and there's blood running down his face. Like, wow. Yeah, really hard-hitting match. Interference from Adam Cole. Poor referee Dez got knocked, did a ref bump, and he got, I don't know if he didn't see it coming or whatever, it made it look more legitimate, if nothing else, but he was busted open on the bridge of his nose as well. This was a very serious match, and it went a bit, some people might have said it went on a bit too long, but I thought absolutely none of that. I thought it was fantastic. I'll tell you this much, what I'll say, I will never do this again. I will never do this many shows in one weekend. At this point, I came out of the show and I said to the lads that I was with, if it wasn't Futureshock tonight, I would now be going home. Because at that point, I had nothing left. I had absolutely nothing left to give. I went to the shop, I bought myself a 4-pack of Monsters, and I went to McDonald's and I had the biggest burger they do. They're doing a winter warmer burger. And it's like, right, come on, we haven't had any fast food for ages. Well, other than the Nando's I had on Saturday, that's traditional. So he's like, right, I've got to have to eat something ridiculous for me, then just fire myself up for Future. Now, Futureshock, then it was Futureshock. After 4 incredible shows, then we went to Futureshock. And it was fucking incredible. Seriously, boys and girls, Futureshock knocked it out of the park this night. I spoke to 5 or 6 different Futureshock wrestlers over the course of the weekend, and each of them saying, look, the big worry we've got is that no one's going to turn up. And I'm like, guys, your last show sold out to the point that I couldn't go to it, which bothers me greatly, and will never happen again. Because I'm getting the full season ticket for next year instead of just having the one. And your card looks amazing. I mean, I said to a couple of guys who haven't been to Futureshock before, like, look, they always pull out the stop for the last show. It's the end of the trophy tournament. This will be good. I guarantee it. Opening contest is T-Bone. Oh, T-Bone. Oh, T-Bone. Let me tell you something, Willis. I did a lot of thinking about who's going to win the trophy tournament. So it was T-Bone, DDL, Sam Bailey, Cyanide left. Now, one of the things about Futureshock is storyline based, and you have to follow the storylines, and you have to care about the storylines. And I was talking at the very start of this video about me being emotionally invested in the product, right? Once we got the 4 PCW shows out of the way, I started thinking about, the 3 of them. So on the Saturday night, on the way home back to Stoke, I was talking with the guys. I'm saying, come on, who's the trophy tournament going to win again? And they're like, well, I haven't thought about that. And I said, right, after the first round of the trophy tournament, my pick is Sam Bailey, who has recently returned to Futureshock. But it was one of those, but now I think about it, Sam, I'm sure, has already won the trophy tournament and is a former Futureshock champion, all that. And so it's like, right, let's have a look at the intrigue. And it's like one of those, God, this guy, this company are good at booking their fucking shows. Because you've got 4 guys. The intrigue factor of the 4 guys is unbelievable. DDL recently split up from Wristlock Rovers, turned heel, got with Chris Egan, right? Cyanide won the trophy tournament before, won the Futureshock Trophy Championship before, also managed by Chris Egan. What if it goes down to Egan's 2 charges in the finals? Sam Bailey, former champion, wants to just come back. And then there's T-Bone. And you sat there going, because of those reasons that I've just mentioned, I'm changing my pick. So when he was pulling the ring down on Sunday morning at PCW, I was went over to him and I was like, you're winning tonight, boss. You're my pick. So I said to everyone, when we were having a joint in the car park outside before the show, and I said, Bone's winning. And everyone's like, fuck off. Everyone of our massive crew said someone else. I'm the only one who said T-Bone. Like, I just got this feeling. In the opening contest, T-Bone defeated DDL in a really, really good match. He finished the match off with a one-handed tombstone, if that makes sense. He pulls him up into the tombstone position, does this, and then does that, but while with the thumb still there, drops him down in the tombstone. Fucking gold. And it's crazy how T-Bone hasn't done anything to get over. The only thing he does to interact with the crowd is every so often does this, like 3 or 4 times, so the crowd start clapping. That's it. There is nothing different. I used to fucking hate T-Bone. I've said this before, when he was a babyface, ironically, at pre-PCW, because I didn't think he acted like a babyface. He didn't wrestle as a babyface. Now, it's just an organic thing, and it's just, he's a guy who comes in, beats people up, and fucks off. That's what he does. There's no, look, I'm not doing this to please you guys, I'm doing this because I like doing it, you know, sort of thing. That was great. And then so Chris Egan's vexed about his boy's loss, so he demands that Cyanide comes out straight away. Cyanide versus Bailey. I saw Cyanide versus Bailey on the very first Futureshock show I went to, so I knew this would be decent, and it was. It was an alright match. Cyanide getting the win to set up Cyanide versus T-Bone in the final, and I think everyone in the room was sort of ooh, that's going to be good. Danny Hunter defeating a girl that I've never heard of before called Toni Storm in an interesting match. It's interesting that Toni comes out first, right, and she lets out this sort of this happy but war scream, and a happy war scream. And I'm sat there going, oh, do that in Danny Hunter's face. Because if you've ever heard Danny Hunter scream, it's one of those, oh, I don't ever want to piss that girl off sort of scream, because it comes from deep within, shall we say. I wanted them to scream at each other, didn't. This was, let me tell you something, this was Danny Hunter's best match that I've seen her have, in my opinion. And to get a clean victory, which is what she did, really was one of those, look, I've been waiting for that for a long, long time, because I know she's a heel and she's part of the Uprising and she needs to cheat to win. I get that. Clean victory, what it needed to sort of solidify it, to show, look, that I don't need the Uprising to help me win. I can do it on my fucking own. Her powerbomb is ridiculous. She's got a new finishing move, Danielle has. What is this? It gets him up on the shoulders, spins around into a facebuster. And they teased that earlier on in the match. I thought to myself, like, oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, gets the win with that. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And I'd like to see more of Toni Storm, is what I'll say. She came across, she didn't do a single thing wrong. I thought, you know, she looked great. She's very, very happy. She came out, massive smile on her face, going, wow, you know. So that was good. They announced at the start of the show that it was meant to be Jack Gallagher versus Zach Gibson in a grudge match tonight. But the very first thing we saw at the start of the show was a video. God, how long with this video been going on for? I'm hurting now. I was talking before, I need something to lean against, because my hips at this moment are really, really hurting. So I should probably talk a bit faster. Anyway, I've got a lot to say, damn it. You watch my face. Idiots. Zach Gibson cut this wonderful heel promo. Oh man, it was good. Because it was real. Is what I felt. He said, I'm from Liverpool. We had to stop announcing at Futureshock that I'm from Liverpool because all you idiot fans booed me. And you're going, that's actually very true, yes. That's bang on. And he's wearing, and yeah, you don't notice it at the start, he's wearing a fucking Progress shirt. And he's like, oh, I'm here tonight. I'm not here tonight. I'm down in London at Progress. And you're sat there going, that's so good. Because if you click on, all you need to do, bring up the internet, like, yeah, he's actually there now. He's probably having his match. Well, yeah, this is at 6 o'clock. So, like, he's had his match an hour ago. So there is no way he will be here. Now, I have issue, as I've said before on these vids, with people saying, don't worry, we'll find a suitable replacement. Because I fuck seen Joey Legend again, you know, and it's suitable replacement. And I tell you something, the suitable replacement, one of these moments where the surprise really lives up to it, because fucking Uha Nation's music hit, and you're like, yes! This was amazing. Uha Nation defeating Jack Gallagher, superb, absolutely faultless match, beat the fuck out of each other, stiff, hard-hitting, high-flying, Jack on form, Jack trying to sort of buff himself up, because Uha Nation's massive. Jack walking around like this, showing that he does have he's a very serious man, Jack Gallagher, but he can comedy it up. His match with Noam Dar at the Underground show last December, for example, was a classic example of that. He's one of these men that I'd like to spend the night with, like to spend an evening with. I'd like to go out for a beer with, just see if I can see what his real personality is like. Does that make sense? Absolutely fantastic. Uha combination getting the win. Uprising, which is Sander Cooper, Don Micho and Ryan Hendricks, defeating the Models and Dave Rain. And I've got written, I wrote a few notes for this one. Generic tag match. Now, that doesn't mean it's a bad match. No. Danny Hope comes out, takes his top off, he's got taped up ribs. You're like, right, there's your story. Danny Hope's facing peril. And yeah, that's pretty much what it was, as Dave Rain getting the hot tag. Interestingly, here's one that I will never say to her face, but obviously Danny Hunter comes out with the Uprising, being a member of the Uprising. Now, I've consulted the rules, and I know that you cannot have a wrestler's license and a manager's license at the same time. So surely, Danny Hunter shouldn't be allowed to come out with her Uprising crew. But I wouldn't say that to her face, because she kicked me very hard, probably. And also, I think the response I'd get will be, yeah, but it doesn't work when you're the champion. Or, I'm the champion, I can do what the fuck I like. So, that's just a little... It's just... Seriously? Third one? Fuck. Noah defeating Mark Massa and Sexy Kev to advance in the Adrenaline Championship, I think it's called, tournament. This is an interesting one because I knew nothing about this belt. And I'm a massive Futureshock fan, and I was following the results on Twitter of the last Underground show, Underground 7. Saw nothing about this new championship that they were announcing. And started going, I feel stupid for missing that show now, but I also feel stupid for not knowing anything about this belt. And so I thought, when they announced it, I always share the photos on Facebook, and it was one of those when someone from management got in touch and then it was announced on the last show, and I'm sat there like, brought up my results that I've been getting on the show. As the show is in progress, I'm getting results. But nothing was said on these results, so I just feel stupid going, what the fuck's this belt? I couldn't actually tell you anything about this match. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't great. Noah getting the win. I couldn't tell you how. Sexy Kev came out as a policeman. This guy needs to turn heel so badly. So badly. I'm sexy and I know it. Fuck off. Sat in the front row again. Don't care. Just not interested at all. I don't... If you're telling me that you're sexy, Sexy Kev, and you've got a great body and you've got a great look, why should I cheer for you? Because you're sexy. You telling me... If everyone else in the room go, God damn, he's sexy, that's all good, but you telling me that you're sexy, yeah, that's arrogance. And arrogance makes you straight off. I go, well, I want to boo you then. If you're arrogant, I will boo you. That's what babyfaces don't do. Heels are arrogant. I'm the greatest. It's one of those things, I just want Kev to turn heel so badly, because I know the gimmick will work. It's Rick Rude. It's just Rick. He uses the Rude Awakening as a finishing move, for fun to say. Anyway, that's just me ranting about something that I've told various people in the past, and each time it's like, yeah, but he's over, and he's not a dick about it. It's like, there you go. That's why he's a babyface. But I just prefer him as a heel. Because, yeah, he's not condescending about it. I'm sexier than you. I suppose that's boasting about it, isn't it? So it's just me being an idiot. Don't worry about it. T-Bone defeating Cyanide in an incredible match. This was everything you could want it to be. This was golden. Near falls like you wouldn't believe. Moves that when the match starts off, or as we're talking on the outside, we're outside having a smoke at the intermission, going right. T-Bone's finishing moves are a draping DDT, right, like Randy Orton uses. And the motherfucking Dragon Suplex. There is reasons why he's one of my favourites. Dragon Suplex is in the top 3 best moves ever. So you sat again, right? There is no way in hell that T-Bone, as strong as he is, will ever be able to do the Dragon Suplex on him. And secondly, surely, unless Cyanide just happens to go up to the top rope, he won't be able to do the Draping DDT either. We got to see both. He did a half Nelson suplex, which is great. He did the Dragon Suplex. He did a German suplex off fucking Brett's rope. Happy fucking days. He was selling the arm at one point, like his arm had been bothering because how much effort it had been to lift him up. It was all good, and of course Cyanide hit all his signature moves. So he hit the gas chamber backbreaker, big ass choke slam, big ass powerbomb. The near falls in this match, you believed every one of them. Crowd rabid, and this was perfect. This may be my match of the weekend, and it's simply because I'll tell you why it's my match of the weekend. Yeah, think about it. Yeah. 2 brick guys. Nice and simple. Every other match that was great had one import in them. Yeah, this was my match of the weekend. This was the best match ever. This may be my British match of the year because it was so perfect. It was booked beautifully. There was interference from the Uprising, and they would fuck off. Go away. T-Bone battering them. It was great. It was one of those we got the right result. T-Bone is sort of looking in the ring, sort of. He can't. It's almost like he can't take it in, which is some wonderful selling. But, and the fucking great big trophy as well. That was fucking gold. What I want to happen from this weekend, I want the Ring of Honor boys to go back to America and say, look, you need to check out these guys. All right, I want the Ring of Honor guys to go back to America. They've got a pay-per-view this weekend, haven't they? It's Final Battle. I want in the locker room them to be telling the other guys, go to America, go to England, get yourself booked on one of these shows, because the talent they've got in England is phenomenal. That's what I want the Ring of Honor guys to say. Big props to Stephen Fludder and all the PCW team. All 4 shows were great. Absolutely phenomenal. Show 2 being my favourite. I'm probably going to be the only person who says that. But show 2 was fun, and there was just enough people there to not make it uncomfortable, and there was some great matches on there, yada yada yada. Futureshock, their best show of the year. I'm bar none. I mean, this was better than the 10th anniversary show in my opinion. This was, absolutely faultless. Big props to whoever put our seats out, because one of our big issues when we go to Futureshock is we always seem to be sat where there's a ring post in the way for some of the action, right on the hard camera side in the middle. And it's like I've got a friend who puts the seats out and they're going, oh yeah, Mark can sit there. Mark and his boys can sit there. That's great. I love that. So yeah, 38 matches in total. My car's mileometer when I got home last night was on 302 miles. I've spent over £200 in total this weekend on British wrestling. I think the only negative I've got coming away from this this weekend is I don't want to watch any wrestling again for a long, long time. And as someone who does YouTube, who has to watch wrestling, that's a bit of a cunt. So yeah, I've had a great, great weekend. Go to a Brit Wrest show if you ever get the chance. I say it every time. And the amount of people who get in touch with me and say, look, I went to a Brit Wrest show because you told me to, and it was great, and I'll go back, is the best thing ever. But if you haven't done it before, go to British show. Futureshock back in next year. They've got new venue sorted in Warrington. They'll be doing the Futureshock Slam shows as well as the Futureshock Uproar and Futureshock Underground. 3 venues. There'll be a show every 2 weeks. Season ticket cost £110. You know how much that works out for the 21 shows? Yeah, think about it. Some basic maths. £5 a show. £5 a show. Fucking golden. You can't go wrong with that. 21 Futureshock shows next year. Going to get a lot of Futureshock reviews. So were you at any of these shows? I would love to know what you thought of them down below. Has this review, have you been sat there going, I don't know why I'm watching this? And it's made you think, I should probably go to a British show. I'd love to know what you think also. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to me, hit the like button, leave me a lovely comment down below, follow me on Twitter or add me on Facebook. I've been Mark P. Thank you so much for watching this very, very long vid. Hey, I've had a lot to say, and I've had no notes, so it's always going to be long, wasn't it? I've been Mark P. As I've said about 50 times now. Take it easy, guys.